Good morning, everybody. I had to look. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's the middle of the week. How's everybody feeling? Buenos dias, Isidro. I am so happy to be here with you this morning inside of High Performer Lifestyle. And if you're joining us on the YouTube channel, welcome. Welcome to all of our new members. This week, we are talking about being vision-driven versus goal-driven, vision-driven versus outcome-driven. And if you missed the first two, videos and lives from this week, please go back and watch them because they are really relevant to what we're going to be talking about today. So what if I told you, listen to me now, this is serious, I love this topic. What if I told you that you could release most of your fears and your tension around your goals, around the goals and the dreams that you set, if you just did one simple thing? What if you could just let go of all the anxiety, the tension, the worry that you have about whether or not you will achieve your goals or whatever goals that you've set? If you're in this group, I know that you are someone who wants to achieve big goals. You want to do big things. But this week we're talking about how being driven by vision is actually the answer to that, as opposed to being driven by the goals, which I am guilty as well. We all start out kind of goal driven, right? We all start out with, wanting to feel good about ourselves because we check off the box, right? We check off things on the list. We do things. It helps us feel significant that we've accomplished things, right? That's okay. That's a great place to start from. However, when we want to get to this place in our life where we're operating like a high performer, where we are creating joy and contribution in our life and in the lives of others, we've got to start setting goals different. So, have you ever heard of the acronym SMART? SMART goals, right? The goal has to be specific, it's got to be measurable, it's got to be achievable, it's got to be relevant, and it's got to be time bound, right? Well, I'm going to admit something to you. This is how I used to set goals, and it's also how I used to teach people to set goals, specifically when I was in the fitness industry, right? But what I'm going to tell you today is you don't need to set SMART goals. In fact, it's one of the things that may be holding you back from being able to be vision driven and to let go of all that tension and anxiety and fear, that pushing energy that is typically attached to you wanting to set goals or wanting to achieve your goals. Okay. So if you're listening, throw a specific goal that you have in here, and then this will make more sense to you. So I'm going to break the paradigm of how you've been thinking and how we used to set goals, including myself, right? So it's not the SMART goals that you need to set, right? And here's why. Think about the A in SMART. The A is achievable. You've got to see that you can achieve it in order to set it. Well, kind of, but not really. Because if you're setting really big goals that are vision driven, your vision should be so big that you don't actually know how you're going to achieve it. In fact, you might say to yourself, I have no idea if I'm going to achieve it, right? It's not in the achieving of the vision or of the goal that life it creates joy and meaning. It's in the pursuit of it, right? It's in what we do along the way, the relationships that we build, who we become, how we strengthen our faith, how we strengthen our commitment level, right? How we connect into our joy and our purpose. It's not the actual achieving of it. So if you're setting a goal that's like, okay, I know I can achieve it, guess what? That's not really a big enough goal. Right? Like I could set the goal to lose 5 pounds in a month. I know how to do that. That's just a goal. But when we're talking about being vision driven versus goal driven, and my vision is to impact a world where people are taking personal responsibility for the way that they think, and therefore the actions that they take in the world and the energy that they show up, so that we see a world that we're living in where everyone is personally responsible for the energy that they're putting out, right? Like, I don't know how necessarily that's going to happen or when I'm going to achieve it. Right? If your big vision is, to empower women, to see women empowered and living out of love and acting out of love for themselves, right? Like, you don't know how that's going to happen, when that's going to happen. But the vision is so big that you're driven by the pursuit of it, right? So Dan Sullivan calls this 10xing your goals. 10xing your goals. I think about this like we can put this in the context of a goal that's inside of a bigger vision, right? So if you have a vision for, I'm thinking of somebody that I did a VIP day with, Jules. Her vision was a life in which, or a world in which, 5 generations of families are sitting around the dinner table together, enjoying food and laughter, right? And the way that she's out helping that happen is teaching families how to eat healthy, how to incorporate lifestyle habits in their life that would have that be the reality, right? That would have the great-grandmom, the grandmom, the mom, the daughter, and the granddaughter sitting around the table, right? That's the big vision. That's 10xing your vision versus like, my goal is to help people lose weight. Can you see the difference there? So in order to set a big vision, a 10x goal, you've got to think differently. It's going to take you involving others to help you achieve it, right? It's going to involve you taking lots of risks. It's going to involve you, it's going to mean you've got to do things before you even know how they're going to turn out. That's way different than having a measurable, achievable goal. Those are for little goals, right? We talked about yesterday and the day before about the vision being the focus, and then backing in the smaller goals or things that you get to do on a yearly, monthly, weekly, daily basis that just has you being the kind of person that would help that would put out the energy in the world and to your community, some words, some actions that would actually invoke that vision. Are you guys tracking with me? Is this making sense to you? Let me know so I know that you're following along. The other piece, I'm looking for some hearts, some likes, some comments that you're getting this. The other piece about this SMART acronym that is not in alignment with vision is time bound. That's the most important one that we get to put a big X in front of, right? That's just not true. If it's a big vision, a vision that is that you've set because you want to impact the world, you want to make a big difference, right? It's greater than you knowing when it's going to happen. And think about this. Does it really matter when? Does it really matter when? Think about Mother Teresa, right? Her vision had to do with a world in which, everyone was loved, fed, right? Do you think she said to herself, it's got to happen by next year, right? And if it doesn't, that means I failed. I didn't achieve my goal, right? No, she was vision driven, not goal driven. If you know you are in service to the world, if you know you are in service to your community, if you know you are in service to your clients and to your family, why does it matter when it happens? Now, I'm not saying that results don't matter, right? But think about, we're talking bigger than these little goals that get to be backed into our vision, right? So when I work like in the constraints of my business, let's say, I'm working based off a bigger vision that I have for my contribution to the world. And then, yes, within that, I set, 5-year goals, 3-year goals, 1-year goals, quarterly goals, monthly, weekly with my team, and then whatever the tasks I've got to do during the day, right? But I'm not driven, you get it? I'm not driven and motivated, and inspired by those goals. I'm driven, motivated, inspired by my vision. What is your big vision for your life or for whatever it is that you're doing in the world? What is your big vision? Imagine the relief that you get to feel when you know that it's not about the goal. It's not about the financial goal. It's not about the business goal. It's not about the weight loss goal, right? If you can let go of that, when I'm going to achieve it, how I'm going to achieve it, and you connect instead to a deeper purpose that you have, right? What you stand for, what your mission is, what your vision is. When you can be driven by that, imagine the relief that you have when you can think big like that versus small, which is what has you be focused on the goal. I mean, doesn't that just feel like relief to you? Feels like relief to me. And I've operated from the opposite end, right? I've operated and even taught people around that SMART goal, right? I'm not saying that setting goals is wrong, but it's not the goals that is your focus. And if you're making the goals your focus, that's why you're frustrated. That's why you constantly feel like you're failing. That's why you feel like you're pushing. Who's connecting with this? Who's resonating with this? One of the things that I talked about in my group yesterday, and I coach coaches, aspiring coaches, entrepreneurs, really anybody who, an entrepreneur who is of service, right? Is a mentor, is a coach, is a leader in some way, is committed to making a difference in the world. And so one of the things we talked about yesterday is, thinking about the work that you do as service, right? As service, as contribution, not as an exchange for money, right? This is about how do you show up in a way that exemplifies the vision that you have. You've got to be what it is that you're talking about teaching, right? You've got to go out and walk your talk. And so it can't be just about goals. It's got to be about something bigger. So try that on. Talk to yourself. Go out on a walk. This is what really helps me clear my mind. If you're somebody who's trying to make things happen, sitting behind your computer, right, and trying to create something, from this space on your keyboard or writing in your notebook, like put all that down. Go outside, get in nature, get connected to the universe, get connected to God, get connected to nature. Just walk and talk. Try this out. Walk and talk. Like, what is it that matters to me? What do I really want for the world? What would God have me do? What are my greatest gifts, right? Start thinking about putting it out. Think about service. And then it's going to get easy to plug in these little goals. That's the easy part. But it becomes difficult when you attach yourself to the small-minded goals as opposed to the bigger picture vision. Does this support you guys? I hope this supports you, because believe me, when I shifted to this mindset in the way that I approached my business and the way that I approached even like my personal visions of fitness and health, right? When I connected that to a bigger why, the rest of it got easy. Even when I find myself in moments of like tension or pushing, right? I can quickly catch it and shift in a moment because I have that reminder, you're focusing on the small things. You're focusing on the goal as opposed to the vision. And that's a nice, easy shift in any moment that you can do. So I am known for helping people get connected to their stand, their mission, their vision, and turning that into purpose-driven action. If you're someone who needs support with that, then I encourage you to reach out to me, get on the phone with me, and let me support you in this. I do this through vivid vision sessions. I do this through through VIP days. And I also have my new, my next group of coaches, my coaching academy. We're starting to enroll next week. So if you want to be the first to be considered for the next group that starts in February, then let me know. I'll drop a link in here so that you guys can get in touch with me. And please leave in the comments if this supported you today and how it supported you. I look forward to being with you tomorrow, 6:45 live. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye.